You and Hamilton Holmes were the first two Black students to ever enroll in the University of Georgia. You, the first Black woman, and he, the first Black man. Other than the momentous historical significance of that, being the first, what should we know today about your experience? What lessons should we have learned or still be learning about your experience of bearing first-hand witness to segregation here in America?
Today, when a journalist is asked a question on television nowadays, people say, "Oh, that's a good question." That was a complicated question. I have to say that when Hamilton Holmes and I were asked by a group of Black men if we would like to go down to Georgia State College in Atlanta to try and register for classes, I don't think that either one of us thought that we were embarking on an historical journey. I remember Hamilton, who was first in our class, and my competition, because I was third, because I flunked. Of course, I shouldn't have flunked. So I should have been second, but actually I was third. But he respected that, I respected that. So these men, prominent Black men in Atlanta, doctors, a couple of lawyers, a journalist, a professor at Clark College, when they came and asked us, it was because this was 1959, and this was, they felt that it was too many years after the Brown decision that outlawed segregation. That was 1954. Mm-hmm. So they wanted to test the law in Georgia. So we said, okay, fine, we'll go do it. So we get down to Georgia State, and we both looked at the curriculum, and much to the surprise of these men, Hamilton, I have to give him credit, he's up there listening now, because he passed away at too young, age 54. Mm. But I learned in South Africa that you never say DEAD or DIED, you say they transitioned, because you believe that they are still looking down. So Hamp, I'm going to give you credit, as we say. Hamilton looked at the curriculum, I looked at it, he stood like this, and he said, this isn't good enough. And these Black professionals could not understand, because I went right behind him and I said, yeah, that's right, not good enough. They could not understand how these two young Black people would reject a white school, which was supposed to be at the top. But here is where Black history is so important, because that was what I call our armor. We never were taught that we were second class. And so when Hamilton said, I want to go there, and pointed north, which is where Athens was and UGA, I said, me too. And these Black adults, they must have thought about it, because they didn't know anybody in Athens, 70 miles away. But here were two students willing to challenge the largest institution in the state. So what could they do? They started to make contact and make it happen. And fortunately, there were young and not so young civil rights lawyers like Constance Baker Motley, Constance Baker Motley, and Donald Hollowell, and Vernon Jordan, now with us. They're all gone now, but at any rate, they said, well, if these students want to try this, why not? And so for a year and a half, they argued a case that ultimately ended in Hamilton and me walking onto the campus of the University of Georgia, January 9th, 1961. I don't remember a lot of dates, but I remember that one.